Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. It is the start of a new week. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 2023. For all of our Ohio viewers, make sure y'all bundle up before y'all head outside because it is cold out there. It is cold, and make sure that you have your cars defrosted so that way you can be able to see clearly on the road. If it's cold in your area, make sure that you bundle up as well. But here in Ohio, it is frigid. Like it is frost outside on the ground. So be sure that you bundle up. Make sure that the kiddos are bundled up before they head off to school. But how was everyone's weekend? How was everybody's weekend? Please let us know what you did in the weekend in the chat. Good morning, Miss Marion Jackson. Good morning, Mr. Lewis Pryor the third. Um, as many of you know that I recently had my birthday, recently turned 21. So I want to say thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday, who sent me something via Cash App, Zelle. I am truly grateful, truly appreciative. Um, this is to 21 years. This is just insane to say, but I am thankful. I'm grateful. Um, and I'm just so thankful for the News and Motion family and for the village. And also let us know if any football team that you watched this weekend, and let us know if you watched your favorite football team and if they won or if they took a upset loss. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson. She says, "Good morning, my Browns won again, and the Buckeyes did their thing. The Buckeyes did pull off an incredible win against Penn State, so that was an amazing game to see. And good morning, Miss Shardinia. So, without further delay, y'all know what we do over here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
What's up, everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. Hopefully, you had a memorable weekend. So, what I want you to do is to put in the chat, if you're able to do that, put in the chat today what's the most memorable thing that happened to you over the weekend. So, what's the most memorable thing that happened to you over the weekend? Y'all know my weekend starts on Thursday, right? So I told all of you I was leaving out of here last Thursday to go get the flu shot. The most memorable thing, I did not have soreness, a stiff arm, or sickness from that flu shot. That is very memorable because I can't remember that ever happening before, especially the arm soreness. There was not, there was absolutely none. So that was the most memorable thing that happened that I can remember of this weekend. So please throw that in the chat, throw that in the chat to let us know what your most memorable thing is. And as you're doing that, I'm going to bring in Isaiah. He has a few words for all of you. So come on in here, Isaiah.
Good
Good morning.
morning. How are you?
Good, good, good. So how was the birthday?
It was good. Pretty chill. Just mostly hung out with the family, a couple cousins, and a few friends. But it was a pretty chill birthday.
All right, all right. You said you wanted to share something with everybody, so go ahead and take it over.
Yes, absolutely. To everyone who wished me a happy birthday this past Friday, I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all the aunties, the uncles, the News and Motion family. Thank you so much for not just wishing me a happy birthday, but for believing in me and all that I do, not just with News and Motion, but if you see me do videography, if you see me in action, and you giving me those words of affirmation, those mean a lot to me, truly. So I'm truly thankful for all of you. I love you all. To my family, Mr. Treese Jones, Mr. Fred Jones, you're probably watching or probably going to be watching in a few seconds. Thank you for all your teachings and your lessons. I know that I can be a stubborn child sometimes. I know that. I'm willing to admit that. But, it's all in love, and I'm truly grateful to have you as my parents. I couldn't ask for better parents. Um, But I'm thankful, and here's to 21 years. That sounds just insane just to say, but I'm thankful to God for his protection and his grace. And this is just the beginning. So thank you all. I love you. Back to Ms. Gail Deli for some more news.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for blessing him the way that you did last week. Thank you for answering that call. And thank you, Isaiah, for being Isaiah and doing what you do. So thank you. All right, I want to pick up where he left off. I see Robert Holman's in here this morning. Good morning to you. I see Dr. Antoinette in here, and Donita, and Jackie, and Lori Wallace, and Kim Edmondson. Regina Shorts, good morning. Yvonne Gardner, good morning. Dr. Antoinette said two things. The bishop and I went to an awesome concert in my chapter for sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, had their 40th anniversary. I see you, Patricia Lyles. Deborah Johnson says the memorable thing was going to a first birthday party for a miracle baby and spending time with about 20 adorable toddlers. It was a wonderful day. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And then the other thing I did, I told you about the flu shot, but the other thing I did, Demia had invited me to come to her father's book signing and reading. And this is the book. The book is called The Road to Your Best Stuff 2.0 by Mike Williams. I highly recommend this book, not because Demia is my friend and that's her dad, but because when I came home from the event, which was absolutely amazing. And by the way, that cookie was to die for, Demia. I don't know where you got them from, but those cookies were amazing. This book is not one of those you pick up and start reading, which I was trying to do. It's like you better have your paper and your pen and your computer to take notes. This book is phenomenal. It's a must read for anyone who's in the height of their career or just starting their career, starting a business. If you're an analyst, a coach, a business owner, a entrepreneur, um, stay at home mom, stay at home dad, whatever, I highly suggest this book. I'll share more about this in the inspirational message, but I highly suggest this book. It was an outstanding event. All right, y'all. So y'all still putting y'all some memorable thing that happened this weekend. I will say it too, only because my dad has been a Browns fan all his life. How about those Browns? They beat Indianapolis Colts 39-38. Yes, and I just want my dad to calm down. He gets so excited, and I'm like, I need you to calm down. You're like 87 years old. But anyway, so he's real excited about that, and I shout with him. All right, y'all, to give you some information, there's a readout from President Joseph R. Biden Jr. He calls the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. And it goes like this. The president welcomed the first two convoys of humanitarian assistance since Hamas October the 7th terrorist attack, which crossed the border into Gaza and is being distributed to Palestinians in need. The leaders affirm that there will now be continued flow of critical assistance into Gaza. The president expressed its appreciation for Israel's support in helping to accommodate the release of two American hostages. Their names are Judith and Natalie Rannon. They were released. Where am I at? The leaders discussed ongoing efforts to secure release of all remaining hostages taken by Hamas, including U.S. citizens, and to provide for safe passage for the U.S. citizens and other civilians in Gaza who wish to depart. So that's happening. This has not been confirmed, but there's a lot of chatter in the news briefing and alerts that they're looking to release two more U.S. hostages. So we have to just stand by and see if that's going to happen. I started getting those reports early this morning in the alerts, but everything kept coming back, not confirmed, not confirmed, not confirmed. So I do want to share it, but it has not been confirmed, but there I guess are talks of that. New York Times report that the U.S. want more time for hostage negotiations to secure not only the release of the two American hostages, but Israel believes that Hamas may release about 50 more hostages who are citizens of another country as well as Israel. But the ground invasion could make hostage release less likely. So I wanted to put that out there. And on top of all of that, the Washington Post reports that President Biden has asked Congress for 106 billion for foreign aid. Hopefully he can get it. We're just waiting on the speaker so we can see what's going to happen there. So that's all on the table. That's what's being talked about. And then we have AP's reporting that the Supreme Court has agreed to review an appeals court ruling that the White House coerced social media companies to take down controversial content. I still don't understand what's wrong with that. If it's misinformation or disinformation, shouldn't we want those things down? Well, they're putting on hold the appeals court's order barring some members of the Biden administration from further communication with the companies. So there's that. I don't know if we're living in a world that any and everything goes. I don't know, but I find that one very difficult to take a hold of. All right, not that we want to talk about it, but it's here, so we have to talk about it. Y'all, 25 Republicans, as y'all know, on this past Friday, voted against Jim Jordan as the House Speaker. It's just crazy. It only gave him 194 votes. Now, if y'all notice, it kept going up over the course of the week of people voting against him. So afterwards, the GOP conference voted to drop him as their speaker nominee. Now, what's interesting is that it was a secret ballot, and he only had 86 people for him against 112. So, even in the public vote, these individuals voted for him when they didn't want to, but in the secret ballot, they were like, "No, we don't want you. You're out." So now, some representatives are worried the turmoil is hurting their party's reputation. Yeah, I think. Like, seriously, this has been going on for a while. And y'all, November the 17th is looming. That's the government vote if they're gonna continue to support them or not. That's the 12 appropriation bills. So this evening at 6:30, the Republican House Caucus will expect to have a candidate form of the 9 individuals who are coming forward. Yeah, that's happening. I see you, Deborah and Sneak. Good morning. So that's going to happen this evening. They're going to hear who's the best person to really put up, and they hope to have a vote Tuesday beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so let's talk about these people because I wanted to do some research on the 9. Y'all know me by now. I'm trying to check them out. So we have a front runner, which, by the way, I'm like, okay, this is what we need to have. Well, I can take him. And that's Representative Tom Emmer. He's the House Majority Whip. So he's the one that goes around and whips up votes. Now, he voted, because I had to check this out. He voted to certify the 2020 election to rebuke the former guy. Okay. Now, they're already bracing themselves because you have these 9 crazos, the holdouts, and I call them crazos, of the House Freedom Caucus who will probably not vote for him. So we're still going to be back into this. You can't get to 217. You just can't do it. It's just not going to work. So he's expecting that pushback. But over the weekend, we have Sean Hannity and the former guy and all of his allies like out there just trying to destroy this man. I'm like, so this is really about who likes the former guy and who doesn't, or who supports the former guy or who doesn't, because he's actually a great contender to be speaker. Really, he's really considered a moderate, okay? He was never in the shenanigans. I did all my research. He was never in the shenanigans. He's been very vocal, even when it comes to the January 6th insurrection. He's been very vocal about all of this. So they've come out and they started, going after him, threats and everything else. I'm like, are we serious right now? This is what we do. This is democracy. So there's him. Then we have Kevin Hearn, Freedom Caucus. By the way, he's an election denier. We have Representative Jack Bergman, 40-year veteran of the U.S. Marines. He objected to the certification of the Electoral College. We have Representative Austin Scott. Now, he's a defender of McCarthy, but he voted to uphold the Constitution. Okay, and he has a big press release on his homepage of his website that's been there for a couple years now. So he voted to uphold the Constitution. So he's not an election denier. Then we have Representative Byron Donalds. Yeah, the only black man. Okay. Florida Republican, a member of the Freedom Caucus. Now, he describes himself as Trump supporting, gun owning, liberty loving, pro life, politically incorrect black man. His quote, not mine. So he's up there too. And he objected to certify. And then we have Representative Mike Johnson. He serves as a deputy whip for the House GOP. He objected. Now, by the way, there's only two people in this list of 9 who wanted to certify the election. The rest of them were like, no, They were election deniers. Kim Edmondson said it's all about the form. It is. And I can't understand that. I can't understand why that grip is still there. We have Mike Johnson. I told you about him. He's a deputy whip. So some of you may be saying, well, what's the difference between a whip and a deputy whip? There are deputy whips who go out once the whip has their conference, and they talk about how they're going to whip votes and things. And so there's deputy whips that go out and help the whip get those votes. So that's what a deputy whip is. Then we have Representative Pete Sessions, who describes himself as a conservative leader who can unite the conference. Yeah, right. You objected to the certification. Then we have Dan Musser. He's also objected. Then we have Gary Palmer objected. So these are the people. These are the 9. Now, the strongest candidate, let's be honest, forget all the stuff. The strongest one is Tom Emmers. It really is. He really is. If you look at his background, it's like, okay, he believes in bipartisanship. So that's going to be a red flag for that House Freedom Caucus. He believes in let's getting the work done. He believes in let's do what we need to do to care for our constituents. He's the one that believes in bringing unity within the entire House. That's him. It's like, well, why didn't y'all vote for him back in January 2023? When I went through his vita and his passage of bills and everything that he's doing, he stands out of everybody. He stands out. And I'm thinking, wow. When I mean out of everybody on the GOP side. So there's again. So Kim Edmondson says, why so many? Hey, they kept putting names out there. So they started throwing their names in the hat. So there's 9 of them. But tonight it will dwindle down to probably 3. And by 9 a.m. in the morning, tomorrow morning, we should have 1 that's still standing. But out of any of them, and here's the truth, it's unlikely, unless they all just decide to say, let's stop playing, let's do it. It's unlikely that any of them will get to 217. And that's the sad state of affairs. That's the sad state of affairs. Dr. Antoinette said, in other words, he's the adult in the room. He's the adult in the room. That's a great way of saying that. So that's where we are. And I must share with all of you, when I was going through, and I took my time, I gave up my weekend going through each one of these 9 individual people. And I must say to you all, it's sad. It's sad. When I looked up their bills and I looked up what they were trying to pass, or I looked up what they denied, and everybody who's a federal government employee, all of you should look at these 9. You should look at the most recent vote. Hello, somebody. You should look at the vote for the temporary passage to continue to fund the government. You will be shocked to see who voted against you staying employed and receiving a paycheck. Yeah, this is voting. I cannot stress it enough. This is voting. Voting is, okay, here's my job. Who's willing to see the funding continue? Here's my job. Who's willing to see these different programs continue for the betterment of the country? Here's what I do. This is where I live. This is what I believe in. Here's my activism. Here's what I'm supporting. This is what I can get behind. All of this should be a part of our voting. All of it. And I will tell y'all, going through this list over the weekend, there was a time that I turned to my husband. I said, he goes, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Listen to this." No, read things to him. And I said, here's their Twitter feed or their X feed, whatever you want to call it. I said, this is what they're saying. I said, this is an attack on American people, but they're in the House, in the chambers, voting for things that are do or die. We have to change our mindset. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, and I know the ones who are tuning in and listening, you're like, okay, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you. But now we need to go trickle out that information to other people. Um, uh, Apostle Anita says, may the right one continue to stand. And then she says, news in motion continues to stretch us to our knowledge and expand our thinking. That's my hope. That's my hope. And, yeah, and I have to be honest here, Apostle, is that there are times I sit back and I go, okay, should I really share this news today? Are they tired of hearing this? And then I come back with, I don't care if they're tired of hearing it. I'm going to keep saying it, because when you break it down this way, it just sits, you sit here and you're thinking, how do people vote these individuals in and why? Like, what's the real reason? Is it that they do not do their due diligence? Is it that they do not vet the people that they're voting? Are we so stuck on down ballot voting that we're missing an opportunity to bring somebody to the forefront who's really going to do the business of the government, whether we all agree or disagree, but knowing that they're doing the business of the people and of the government, so that we can continue to stand. That I just want to share that. So y'all, that's the list of the nine. That's the list of the nine. Um, Yvonne says, we are not tired. Kim Edmondson says, please hit the like button, YouTubers. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all. Trump's campaign attorney, Kenneth Cheeseborough, agreed to a plea deal. Second attorney in the Georgia election interference case. I don't know about y'all. Now, I'm off on Friday, but y'all, news was popping on Friday. I mean, it was left, right, up, down. I was like, what is happening in the news cycle? It was on and popping, one thing after another. So that's making him the second Trump attorney to do so after Sidney Powell. And they said, y'all, Sidney Powell is like on lockdown. So, of course, that's why he's attacking her on his Truth Social platform. I mean, he's attacking. He even said that she wasn't his attorney. Who's believing that? We all saw her standing there. We all saw you support her. Listen, it's they're flipping one after another. Also, y'all, the New York judge has fined the ex-president, the former guy, $5,000 for violating the gag order, and told him, you're real close to going to jail. It's like, yeah. But then it comes out and he still comes out and, whatever. Y'all, Mitch McConnell, let's talk about Mitch McConnell real quick. He says that he's fully recovered after his frozen episodes, and I pray that he is. My thing is, keep his, y'all. If y'all notice anything, y'all keep him out the public eye, because I don't want him to leave as a disgraced person or humiliated. I don't want that for anybody. So he's saying that he's fully recovered. He says, following a series of incidents where he froze and was unable to speak in front of the reporters this summer. He added that he supports in his speech, which was a darn good speech, by the way. So maybe he has recovered. In his speech, he says he supports President Joe Biden's request for more aid for Ukraine. And in his direct quote, he says, the Ukrainians are destroying the army of our biggest rival. He goes on to say, I have a hard time finding anything wrong with that. And that came out of HuffPost. So he came out, gave that speech, and then gave that speech. I was like, well, okay, Mitch, let's see what's happening. All right, y'all, last week, and I wanted to share this. Kim Edmonds said Friday was fire. It was like popping off. I was like, I can't keep up. I'm supposed to be off today, but I was still trying to make sure you all had the information. So, y'all, last week I shared about digital news media. And such as News in Motion and News Not Noise and others, and how we have the freedom as long as we have regular investors or sponsors, and not necessarily the others who try to dictate what we can say and what we cannot say, on the air and so forth. Well, Jon Stewart, y'all may remember him. He became somewhat famous after after headlining the Tonight Show, which is on the Comedy Channel. Trevor Noah came behind him, and I think they're still trying to decide who's going to be the new anchor for that. But he moved to a show on Apple TV, Jon Stewart, to continue to give the news and his advocacy and reporting, just like what we do here on News in Motion, and like News Not Noise and other places. Well, he's clashed with the Apple executives over how to cover issues such as China, Israel, AI, presidential election candidates, and so forth. And so he's like, I'm out. You're trying to silence me. We're done. So the show is canceled. It's gone. And so he's going to bring a platform like what we're doing here on News in Motion. I'm sure it'll be different because he has the funds to do that. But I'm sharing this with you all to say, if the networks are silencing or dictating what they can and cannot say, imagine what you're going to get going into 2024. Imagine that. Go back to the Supreme Court ruling, where the Biden administration is reaching out to these social media platforms saying, take that content down. It's wrong. It's disinformation. It's misinformation. Talk about what I shared with y'all when they used former President Obama's voice. And I shared that with you. That was on TikTok, and they had to come out. Supreme Court's like, you can't do that. You can't use his voice because that's misinformation. That's disinformation. So, y'all, I'm not saying that the national news outlets that are out there um, are places you cannot get news. Yes, but you have to vet them. You have to fact check them. You have to look at what they're not saying. Okay. So you may see more and more digital news shows like this. But what we're also saying is that we need y'all support to continue this to happen, because what's going on? Because people are coming to platforms like this, like StreamYard, which we use, and others. StreamYard, for example, has increased their rates because they know we're coming here. But we've been on StreamYard now for over 2 years. Our rate has tripled because this is becoming the platform so we can have the freedom, because our sponsors and things like that are saying, nope, we want to control what you're saying. So I want y'all to be mindful of that going forward with any news, because people are leaving these other platforms. Going, take Jessica Yellen with News Not Noise. She was an analyst on CNN. She has now her own platform so that she can freely share what she needs to share. So y'all, it's going to be very tricky coming into 2024. I just want y'all to remember that. So one way you can do, and Isaiah, if you would pop up our merch banner, one way you could do is support us by buying the merch, because then the profit will come right back to what it is that we're doing. So the merch is out there. You can check it out. You can grab it. You can go to www.gaildudley.com/shop to find it. So that's just some of the merch. There's a News in Motion mug. There's a News in Motion hoodie that we're just going to trickle these in so that you can see them from time to time. All right, y'all, let's get on back to some news and see what's happening here. We also have the Wall Street Journal reports that the Film Actors Union and major studios and streamers are returning to the negotiation table on Tuesday in an effort to end a month-long strike that has brought TV and film production to a halt. That is happening, y'all. That is happening. Y'all, the other thing I want to share with you all, the CEOs are packing up. Yeah. Fortune reports, and I thought this was a very interesting article, and I wanted to share that here. Um, before I was talking about the millennials and the great resignation, and everybody was talking about the great resignation of millennials. Well, now CEOs appear to be in full force. They're packing up and they're going out. According to a report by executive coaching firm Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, since September, more than 1,400 chief executives have left their positions so far this year. This is up almost 50% from the same period last year, and the highest on record since the firm began to track it back in 2002. So, y'all, 1,400 executives are like, peace, we're out. A lot of them are saying that it's just due to what things are doing, how people are trying to force employees back to the job, although they have record number of production going up when they were at home, and why, the thumbprint and things that are going on. The government and nonprofit sector topped the list of CEO turnover with more than 300 and 50 leaving their posts this year. That's up more than 85% over the same time last year. The technology sector saw a second highest rate, with that 140 CEOs abandoning the boardroom. This is their quote, up almost 50% from last year. They go on and on and on. They say while the U.S. workforce is shrinking as more baby boomers reach retirement age, That's not the only reason behind the exodus. According to the report, about 22% of all CEOs exit were retirement, slightly down from 24% who retired last year. So they say it's not about retirement. They're saying they're fed up, they're done, they're tired, their hands are tied. They're talking about the political platform and how all the politics are coming into the office and how to manage that and the money and where the money's going. Y'all, it's just so much going on. Latrice Jones says, "What's happening to all the work these what's happening to all the work these folks are resigning from?" I'm gonna give you the list real quick. Great question, perfect timing, because I was headed there. They're saying again, forcing people to come back into the office when their productivity was increasingly high with them working from home. They're talking about politics coming in, the donations that the companies are giving to people running for office that their employees are not supporting, and the pushback and the they're calling them challenges between employees with the politics coming in. They're talking about homeschool. A lot of parents are now homeschooling their children. They're talking about home being first priority, which I think that is pretty cool. They're talking about how they are having trouble with hiring people because of the minimum wage and the benefits. The benefits are part of it. They're even talking about the discrepancies with the employees' pay. And how much, this one, and I'll give this quote. This one CEO said, he finds it difficult now that his children are adults, that as a CEO, he's getting X amount of money, but those who have all the expertise are getting way less. So I was like, wow, but it took him to have his children get into those roles and see their payment. They're talking about student loan debt. They're talking about all these different things that's causing a crash, and people are saying, I just can't stomach it anymore. And so they're leaving. So that's what's happening, y'all. That is what's happening. So we have to just stay mindful of all this. And I'll read this last part here. It says, where there was no reason given for almost a third of the CEO's departure, another 17% reportedly stepped down into other C-suites, called the C-suite group, board or advisory roles. Other reasons provided to challengers, including interim periods coming to an end, or leaders choosing to pursue fresh opportunities, or those that I've already mentioned. So that's what's happening. So there's a lot of jobs that are out there or becoming available. So enter them with caution, so to know what's happening there. All right, y'all, there's something I said I would never do. See, my sister says, good question. They are putting the extra work on others in the same areas. Excuse me. Yes, that's happening as well. I don't know what's happening. It's the allergy season. All right, y'all. So there's something I said I would never do again, although we had a blast when we did it. And Kenya contacted me and said, yeah, we got to do this. And I was like, girl, you crazy. And she says, come on, this is something good for News in Motion and Ready Media, so let's do it. So I said, well, let's see what happens. Well, in the interim of all of that, we had someone reach out to me where I did this before. And they said, come on, you did well. We would love for you to do it again. And I said, okay. So I finally said, okay. So we're going to announce it here first. So get ready. And this will not happen until 12 noon today. So when we give you the link, that link is not going to work. There you are. It says, yes, she's crazy. Good morning, all. What's up, Kenya? So yeah, we had a great conversation. So y'all, this link will not be ready till 12 noon. You can try it as soon as we get off of here. It's not going to work. It's going to tell you that it's unavailable. So it's not till 12 noon. And y'all, there's only 50 spots available. Only 50. We don't have a 24-hour or 48-hour pre-screening. No. We're in the camp. We get a 2-week private screening of Wear Your Purple, y'all, the color purple right here in Columbus, Ohio. So y'all, the Marcus Theater, Crossroads, the color purple, December 9th, 2023. It will be a 12 o'clock showing. It's our own private space, only 50 seats available. The tickets, we wanted to be so nice to all of you. So the tickets, where some people may be charging you $20, $25, we're only charging $15 for the ticket. Tickets go on sale today at noon at this particular link, and I believe there's a link in there. We'll also put it in the well, there it is, Ready Media underscore. We'll also put it in the chat so y'all can have it and grab it. Y'all, it will not work until 12 noon Eastern time. Now, if you live outside of Columbus, Ohio, and you want to come on in. But you got to get one of those 50 tickets. One of those 50 tickets. Somebody has asked already in my family. Well, what happens if you get more than 50? I guess you're gonna have to wait till December 25th. Because I was not, look, I signed my life away to get this space in this movie theater. And by the way, Latrice, they remembered us from what was that called? Black, white, different, something, whatever it was. They remembered us and they said that we were so kind and so nice. And they said, hey, you did the Black Panther screening. I was like, yes, we did. And they were like, and you were so kind and so nice. I'm like, well, it's just kindness and niceness. This is just who I am. So, y'all, we are doing a Color Purple premiere. It's actually called a private screening because we are 2 weeks in advance of getting that in there. Yes, Stephanie, let's go. So listen. I was kind. I was nice. I'm letting you, one person can get 10 tickets if you want to. I was going to take it down to only 2. And I said, no, we just need to sell these 50 seats because I done gave my credit card. I had to pay for this space up front, y'all. I had to pay for the room up front. So we got it. We're in there. We got some surprises coming your way. Yes, black and white. We got some surprises coming your way. I'm asking them now if we can stay after so that we can have a dialogue and conversation. Listen, people. This is a rated R movie. This is a rated R movie. So just know that. The other thing we wanted to keep it low, Kenya and I had a lot of conversation going back because we know it's the holiday season. So we just wanted to have fun. So get your purple. Let's see. Latrice Jones said, what? This is what Gail does. Love my look. This is who it's funny that you said that, but I won't get to that today. It's funny that you said that. Yes, I am coming into my own. And I'm loving and I'm seeing things. I'm getting clarity and having fun. Deborah John says, what are we wearing? Purple. And by the way, y'all's bag, if y'all thought y'all's bag was the bomb at the Black Panther, oh, y'all better come on and get that. Look, you might want to pay the $15 just for the bag alone. And by the way, there are no refunds and no transfers. Kenya says, I know my choir folks have purple. LOL, wear your purple, y'all. Listen, you are the bomb.com. Look, if it wasn't for Kenya, y'all know me, I'm going to give credit what credit's due. Kenya came to me and said, Gail, what we doing? And I said, girl, I was never doing that again. But Kenya would not let me off the hook. And I said, okay, all right, it's Christmas time. It's holiday. Let's do this, Kenya. Let's do it. Yo, Kenya's so excited. It ain't funny. I'm sitting back saying, have I lost my mind again? But we're going to do it. We're jumping in. I've already got some other things out there because now that I'm in, and y'all know me, Latrice, you know me, Kim Edmondson, you know me. Once I'm in, I'm in. So, of course, y'all know I don't do anything small. So I'm all in. So I'm already doing some things, working behind the scenes, trying to get some things done so that we can have a great time. But y'all gotta buy the tickets. Look, y'all gotta buy the tickets so I can pay my credit card off. But y'all gotta buy the tickets. So again, if y'all want to come in town, come on. You know, we might put y'all up in a house or whatever. You coming in town. Deborah says, yes, let's purple. Kenya says, swag bags, y'all, goodies. Y'all, the swag bags. Ooh, Kenya, we're not even going to tell them. We're going to let them come. The swag bags. Dr. Antoinette says, enjoy. Come on in town, girl. Come on and hang out with us for today. Kim Edmondson says, can't wait. All right, y'all. There's the link. It's in the chat now. The link is now in the chat. Don't y'all call me asking me what the link is. And I can tell y'all now, we are the least expensive tickets in town. Hello, somebody. That's how we do things. And by the way, we won't announce this until the day of. We'll announce it. We may get a big old check too, because Kenya and I are already processing this. We won't tell y'all here. You will learn that day. We are going to donate money to an organization. That's how we roll. We're cause-based. That's what we do. So we'll be donating money to an organization that night. We're thinking we're going to get the big check and bring it out and tell the person that they get the thing. So y'all, color purple, December the 9th, Crossroads Marcus Theater. I think it's on Hutchinson, if I remember correctly. So the tickets will go on sale today at noon. Today at noon. Today at noon. And we do have the Ready Media back thing where you can take pictures. Maybe we can find a purple carpet, Deborah, and you can put in front of it. That's cool. But y'all, December 9th at noon. December 9th at noon. That's the time of the show. And then the tickets will go on today. They will go on sale today at noon. That's the link. The link doesn't work until noon. And I may, can you go back in there and take it back that you can only buy 5 tickets? Because we're talking 50 tickets. Now, look, we're going to be very transparent and tell you all, there are 70 tickets. There are 70. Kenya has 10. I have 10. We're selling the other 50. My 10 will be as giveaways. Hello, somebody. That's just how I do things. Except I got to pull my ticket out. But the other 9 will be giveaways. So just know that that's happening. Y'all are in here. Set the alarm. Kenya says, see you at the Crossroads. I love it. Donita says, so sad I'm out of town that weekend. Oh, we're going to miss you, girl. We're going to have a party. Yvonne says, hey, Google set my alarm for 11:59. So y'all, that's what's happening. That's what happened. We're very excited about it. All right, y'all, the inspirational message. Then we're out of here. Back to this book by Damia's father, Mike Williams, The Road to Your Best Stuff. I was stuck on page 44. Be aware of the unspoken challenges. That was deep to me. And it says biases can be a dream stopper. I was like, ouch. So I read through this and I thought, you know what? What are the unspoken challenges? That's what I want all of you to think about today. What are the unspoken challenges in your life? Not a long inspirational message. I want you to ponder that question. What are the unspoken challenges in your life? And remember that biases can be a dream stopper. I want y'all to focus on that. Take time to process that today, because I believe for many of us, that's our starting point. Be aware of unspoken challenges. Biases can be a dream stopper. And just to give you an idea, it says many people in the middle of a quick rise to prominence find themselves running into barriers that they weren't warned about and don't make any real sense. That is, the barriers don't hold up to the real logic. Bias works on its own logic. It talks about race, gender, age, hair, physical impairment, language, dress, religion, gender identity, size, ethnic background, speaking style, or other people's take on these things often get in the way of career opportunities that would be available on strictly professional grounds. It is a reality. Conscious and unconscious bias, individual or systemic, can make life harder than we have a right to expect. Buying into the biases or making it too important gives it more power than we are able to handle. It is better to know than not know what is out there, than step into your stuff no matter what. That's what's happening, y'all. That's what's happening. And I want y'all to really think about, what are the unspoken challenges in your life? All right, y'all, that's been News in Motion today. Hopefully y'all loving this color purple, but more important than that, I want y'all to think about these 9 speakers. Y'all, here's an opportunity to contact your representatives right now and say, hey, Tom Emmers, if that's who you want, and tell them why you suggest him, because we got to put these party politics aside and get to the business that's out there. Donita says biases can be a dream stopper. Yeah, that's in this book. This book, listen, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. All right, y'all, that's all I have for y'all to know today. Y'all keep moving. Make bold moves, and remember to live your life in abundance. 12 noon, y'all. 12 noon. The tickets go on sale. We're out.
News in motion.